let's talk about evaluating the initial responses from Supplier. So we gave them a nice detailed template, and now we're going to see who's worth responding to and who is not, okay? So what we're going to do, our goal is to qualify them, Did they answer all of your questions? Now, this is not an absolute, because you'll see from these examples that I've actually found some of my best suppliers, and they did not answer all the questions initially. They try to get on the phone. You'll see in a little bit. But essentially, we're seeing in the end, we want them to answer all of these questions. And a fast response time, say that they can meet your specifications. They got to have a reasonable price. You obviously need a sample. You want to make sure they're a factory and they're professional and have relatively good English. You're not going to get perfect English. Perfect English is not a necessity here. I'm going to show you guys some good examples now, just so that we can, kind of see what it looks like, what the answers could potentially look like. So maybe some good signs that we want to look out for, like maybe they want to chat. So maybe they want to get on Skype or, WhatsApp or WeChat. Or right on the phone. That's going to be a good thing. If they might not answer all your questions, but just say like, hey, they want to get you on the phone, that they probably want to sell you, or be able to do that. If they're persistent, that's a good thing. Maybe if they're like, hey, I'm going to research into this further and I'll get back to you later. That's another good thing to look out for. If they ask for more information, maybe they don't respond to you, but they ask for more information, then, that's still somebody worth responding to. Maybe they didn't answer everything, but they say, hey, I need more information to answer this. That's good. Or if they say, like, other customers are typically doing this, or, from our previous experiences or whatnot, it's another good sign to look out for. Or if they give you more product suggestions as well. But, in general, we want to make sure that, they're not just like, oh, we have these other products. Like, yes, we sell you hot selling stuff. The best way to show you is just to go and actually show you some actual responses so I can show you what I mean. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys an example of a good response from a supplier. So basically, I had been looking for wristbands back in 2016. And what I was asking was, okay, could I get a quote for 1,000 wristbands? Describe this pretty well for me being a beginner. I want 1,000 of these. I want them in black, 100% silicone, no latex, half an inch tall. I want a specific print type of debossing, and then the number of colors in the design of 2. All right, and then I asked, what's the best price? How long will production take for 1,000 pieces? How long is shipping to wherever I live? And then how much will shipping cost, okay? And then please give me your Skype information so that we could further contact you. And then here was the response that I got. It was very fast. Thank you for reaching out. They even sent me pictures for my reference. So this helped me be nice and organized, and they showed me what they had that was the closest to what I was asking for. So definitely something that is a good sign if they're giving you more information than you actually asked for. So what they did here was they gave me the size, which I hadn't even asked for. And they gave me the size of all parts of it. So it was really nice. And then, of course, the material. They even gave me the shipping terms, which I hadn't asked for. They gave me the price, right? They gave me the price right there. And then they gave me the shipping price, which I had asked for. And then they gave me the total price, which is not even what I had asked for. Now, here's the thing. I asked how long would production take. They even gave me information about the sample time, it's pretty nice. I hadn't asked for that, or I hadn't even asked about a sample, I think. And then they told me the mass production work time. Then they gave me the shipping. Then they gave me the amount of shipping. Then they gave me how long shipping would take. And then, of course, the shipping costs. And then the Skype information. So they gave me everything that I had asked and a little bit more. So that's a really good sign, just going off right there. It was all really nice and structured. Look at that. See, they answered them like it's easy to read. So if somebody's going to answer like this is a good sign. But just because they answer like this doesn't mean that they're going to be perfect. And you go with them. You still have to get a sample and do other things to validate that they're good. You'll see in a little bit here actually an example where somebody responded to me well, but it might not have been the best supplier. Anyways, here's another one for the wristbands. I had sent them the same message. They said, hello, this is Doris from Artie Gifts. Now, they didn't respond, structured the same way, but they actually gave me even better formatting so that I could evaluate this. They even told me about the process of injection there. That's kind of neat. They had a pretty good unit price. They told me the mold charge, which is nice. The other people didn't include the mold charge for creating a new design. They included the freight design. They included the freight charges and then lead time for samples and mass production. And then they even gave me the type of packaging for it as well, which I hadn't even asked for. So, they're giving me all the information that I would need to know to make a purchase. And if they're making it easier for you to buy, that's a good thing, assuming that they meet all of your needs. Now, I didn't have too many desires here. So, and they even gave me the direct email address. So they gave me the freight cost, and then they said it's door to door. And then they said tax and duty would be on the buyer's account. So that, just nice to know. They even further explained the shipping term for us if you didn't know what door to door was. Gave us lead time, packaging list. Above price is based on X works though. Okay, so that's very good to know. So they really did it, and they even gave us. So here's another thing. They even gave us all the payment terms. And then they even, here's a good sign. Sample charges as mold charge and freight for samples will be on the buyer's expense. So that's good to know. Yeah, I'd say this is a very good response. Well structured, all the information that I need. This is somebody that I would do business with, assuming that their samples came back as good quality and everything. But yeah, very fair pricing, very well detailed. Definitely something that I would go forward with if it was a good product opportunity and their samples turned out well. And here's another good thing. If they're willing to take payment by PayPal, that's a good thing. If they're only willing to take Western Union and that's it, or a bank transfer, that's a little bit shadier. But I mean, they're even coming out saying, yeah, pay us on PayPal. They make less, but they just want to get your business. So that's something good to look out for. Here's one where essentially I was asking about welding goggles here. And I had very specific requirements. I'm not going to show the whole email that I asked about. I had laid out a list of like 6 questions, and I said, I absolutely need this type of lens, okay? I need this. And I made it very clear several times. Now, what I got from a response from one supplier was like this. Sorry for my late reply. They don't have the certificate that I needed for the lens. But they're going to ask another supplier if they can get some more information. They said, please give me some days to learn more and I'll contact you. So now they didn't answer my whole list of information, but they said, just straight up, we don't have that certification, but I'm going to go see if we have other people in our network that can go ahead and get that for us. So that's something that I had seen. They were good. They had responded within 1 day, really fast, said, we're going to go get more information because we don't know the answer. So that's something like, okay, even if they're using a partner manufacturer, like who cares if you get a good price and they're doing their due diligence, doing research, and they're being honest. They're not saying, yeah, we have that certification when we don't. They're saying we don't. We're going to go try to find it for you. That's a good sign and somebody I would want to do business with. And then they came back to me and they said, according to our experience in exporting to the United States, now this is a wonderful thing to hear, okay? They're saying that you need a certification according to their previous experience. So this means they know what they're talking about and they're giving you tips. So if they're giving you tips and further information, or like our other customers do this, that's somebody that actually does business and other people have trusted and they're looking out for you. So, they're not just trying to make a quick buck and not know what they're talking about. So, they said this can be used for welding or whatever. And then they want, if you're interested, tell me more information, Then they said, if you're interested in sourcing this, contact us and I'll send you videos of products and glad to send you a quotation. So, this was great. They ended up not actually having the type of lens that I had wanted. And I went back and forth with them. I said, okay, that's great. Thanks, but I need this very specific specification. Can you source that? And it turns out that they weren't able to get that type of lens that I needed, but let's say they would have, I would have definitely trusted them to a certain extent once I got the example and vetted that it was exactly what I needed. So yeah, you could still find good suppliers that don't answer everything laid out completely because not every time is it very cut and clear, like the silicone wristband where they're always doing that. When you're getting into more customizations or different things, you're going to have to, it's going to look different. So they said, if you don't require a certificate, check this out. And then they tried to upsell me and they sent me a nice annotated picture here and they told me the types of materials for the lenses. The lens, they just said glasses. But then they gave me a specification list here. and then all the specs on the lenses actually. So they weren't able to meet my exact needs, but they gave me a list of everything they got. They did the research, and it just turned out they didn't have what I needed, but they tried. So if they would have had what I needed, definitely would have done business with them, or at least gotten a sample. Now, there were other times where people said, oh yeah, we can put a good lens in there that you need. Yeah, and they would just sell me the lens that didn't actually have what I needed, but they were just hoping that I believed it and bought it anyways. And when I got them, I tested them out in person, and I could see light bulbs through them. And you couldn't look at the sun with the lenses, and they just lied to me. But these people were upfront and honest and said, hey, this is what we've got. We don't have exactly what you need, but here's everything we have. If you want to buy, let us know. And of course, they tried to upsell me later on other products, but that's good. I want my supplier to upsell me, but I want them to be honest too. You don't want somebody that's just going to lie and sell you whatever, just get the sale. Yeah, so one point that I really want to highlight out here that I just said, you will get a great response sometimes, and it'll just be a lie. Okay, that's why it's absolutely essential to get a sample, all right, and do it further validating. But if you get a great response and then they say everything is good, then that's worth ordering a sample. But you'll find out when you get the sample, wait, the response and everything wasn't exactly what they said, and you wasted some money and some time, and you learned a lesson. You'll be able to spot them eventually, but I probably bought 12 different samples going throughout the whole eclipse, and it was really difficult because I kept running through so many suppliers, and I'd find a lot that would be honest or just respond really awfully, and then some that said, yeah, I can do it. And what it turns out was exactly what I needed literally didn't exist in China. So I got to see a whole wide array of, with one example, all the different types of responses. You will get varying responses from people, but you want the ones that are honest. And the actual best suppliers told me just, we can't do this. And told me about previous experience, or, we're just very communicative, and I didn't feel anything wrong with them. Here's one last good with warning. So this is a time where I was sourcing a 3D nightlight back when I was first starting out. And essentially I asked questions and they said, yep, we could do all that. Everything was right on spot and everything. But here's one thing. We have a business in the USA, okay? He has some models of the 3D nightlight. If you need, you can ship it directly to you. So this was a good and a bad thing. One, why do they have a business in the USA? That's very odd for a Chinese manufacturer who's manufacturing goods. Typically when they do this, they're buying goods, raw materials, and making them into pieces, and they're a Chinese owner, and they might not even the owner might not even speak English. So why would they have a business in the USA or something? It's just a little bit off. And it turns out this was a trading business, and they attached a quotation, and I looked at the second tab, and they also sold snorkel masks and phone docks and stuff. So the key lesson here was it was a trading factory, but it still was also good because they had the models ready to buy that I wanted. They had a wide variety of them. They weren't on Amazon, and I could just buy them and then sell them on Amazon right away, and had a really fast lead time. So what I could have done then is, even though it was a trading company, it was what I needed. It was good quality. It was a little bit overpriced, but I had a really fast lead time that I could have tested, seen if it worked, and then gone on, found a different manufacturer or bargained and got a better price with them once I had proven that it worked. So, as we've talked about in the lead time and ROI, this had a really fast lead time and a very low initial purchase amount. So, I still would have gone forward with this if I had not done something else. All right, so now I'm going to show you guys the response from the actual manufacturer that got the win, who was actually had the real eclipse glasses, good quality, and was in the United States. So you'll see that the way that I contacted them was differently than how I contacted the manufacturers in China, because there's different expectations and norms when you're talking to somebody from the United States versus China. So it wasn't like it was just Alibaba. And so basically I just said, hey, can I get a test order of 5,000 units? And for some reason I said I was going to sell these to science clubs, museums, and local mom and pop shops. I mean, I'm sure I did sell to them, but that is not what I did. But essentially I was like, okay, is he worried about me reselling these, or like making and selling on Amazon? Because, his brand had been on Amazon as well, but he had no problem with it at all. So maybe I guess the point here is just be very upfront and honest about what you're doing when you're dealing with suppliers. Like, you don't need to hide what you're doing because they're going to find out eventually anyways. And this guy was actually my supplier. I helped them and they helped me, and we worked together, and we had some of the only real Eclipse glasses, whereas the people that were from China did not. And I'd gone through 50 manufacturers in China, and this ended up being the best one. But the way that it ended up working was, this is the response that I got from him. Said, thanks for your email, we can help you. And he asked for my phone number and then said, I want to tell you about our company and our further offerings. And then basically you went to our main site, but you didn't go here. Let me know a good time and I'll call you and prepare a quote. So did he answer all my questions? No, but he wanted to get me on the phone. So that's a good sign. And then since he wants to introduce me to his company and the offerings, like, who's going to do that? You know, like, if they're going to take time to talk to you and try to sell you and like sell you on their company and show why they're good, like, definitely take it up. I kind of overlooked this at first, and I was like, I don't really want to get on the phone, but he called me and I was like, okay, whatever. I'll respond. And I was discouraged because I've been going for a month and a half looking for manufacturers. And then I got off that phone call and I said, I know that this is the guy. It was a 45-minute phone call. Basically, he's just like, no, I'm the best. Like, here's everything. Boom, certified. Everything is the best. I'm a pro at this. Here's the pricing. Here's exactly what you need to do. Told me all the steps, all the production lead times, literally everything that I wanted to do. And then even gave me tips on how to sell and everything. And I was like, well, okay. I definitely want to do business with this person comparatively to other people who weren't as educated about the product that I was trying to sell and the whole process and whatnot. He knew everything. And, you know, basically you want to see, is this person a professional at making this type of product that you're sourcing? If they are, then that's a good person to do business with, because you're going to learn from them and you're not going to have to teach them. You don't want to have to be teaching your supplier about how to make it and whatnot. You want them to be like, yeah, we need this, and then just telling you what they need from you to make it happen. So that's good. This is good. This is all the good. Now let's show you an example of the bad. Boom. If they're bad, you're going to deny them. Okay, so here's a bad example. You'll see lots of bad examples as you are doing this yourself, and that's probably the best way to learn. Okay, so here's an example of a bad response. So I had reached out, gave them very detailed information, okay? So I essentially had said, hey, I'm the purchasing manager. I was kind of a noob when I sent this. This is like the very first product that I ever tried to source. Said I need 1,050, all right? And 7 of each color of this product, okay? I need these exact colors. Asked him some other questions about price and whatnot, you know, pretty well detailed. Here's the response. Dear Mr. Brock, thanks for your email. As for the safety glasses, we have so many models. Which one do you prefer? Granted, I've contacted them about a model, all right? And so I'm like, okay, whatever. Hey, I'm interested in the model that I've attached to this email. So, you know, I give them more information. I was a beginner, didn't know what they want. And they said, hey, thanks for your email regarding the glasses. You know, how many pieces do you want to order? Like, did they even read the original email? You know, like, are you kidding me? Like, I've laid it out pretty well. I want these ones. It's linked on Alibaba. Okay, like, I want this many quantity. I want this colors. And they clearly are just airheads. You know, like, just when I read this, I was just like, come on, really? So it's how you will feel with some manufacturers on Alibaba. So don't worry. Over time, you'll find the good manufacturers. And the best way to do it is just get out there and try. So now that you've seen some examples, go out there if you haven't already and start contacting manufacturers, and you'll learn from firsthand experience. I can't tell you everything. Maybe if you guys share some experiences of companies that you've gotten terrible responses from or good, you know, maybe I've listed out some signals that are good or maybe warning signs. If you guys want to list things you've seen that maybe you overlooked and it ended up actually being good, but you would have dismissed them. And then things where you didn't really think about it, but they're huge warning signs of like, whoa, I shouldn't have done business with this person, and I did. So if you guys all share down below, I'm sure that we can all help each other a lot more, because there's a wide array of responses that we'll get out there. And yeah, so hopefully you get over this moment. I took 50 failed manufacturers, and then I found one that really worked. So hope that you guys find a great one. On to the next video.